Hey YouTube, how's it going? Now this is a video that I've never really done before. I've always wanted to make it, but I was never sure how to go about it. Um, this video is about my negative YouTube experiences. The two reasons I'm making this is, one, I thought it might be helpful for me to talk about these experiences and to sort of let go and move on from them. And people starting out, this could be really useful because it may help you to avoid some of the pitfalls and that I went through. So here it goes. This is completely unscripted, just doing this off the top of my head. Now, when you create a YouTube channel, people reach out to you, several websites. Now, I've had several negative experiences with websites. The first one was a website. I'm not gonna name the website. It was something retro gaming. Think of a random city in this country, and then put on the end of it retro gaming. And this dude asked me to sort of be a contributor, so I was like, okay. And I suppose I contributed probably for about maybe a year. And the dude had aspirations to make this website a bigger thing, which fair enough, you know. And one of the hurdles he had was that he had a lot of video submissions, but also news articles, and he wanted these articles to be featured in the Google search pages as news related, because if you search, if you've got a relevant piece of news, it tends to come up at the top of the search, or it comes up in the news section. And Google turned them down. They said the website had didn't have a broad enough scope, which fair enough. It was a website that was mainly focused on one city in this country, focused on retro gaming, which fair enough. I mean, if you're going to make a website and you're going to put news articles, you're going to want them to be accessible to the world. So I think he decided to sort of rebrand the website, and he asked for ideas. I think I gave him like 30 suggestions. One of them was something retro gaming, which is a variation of the title. And he went with it, but he never acknowledged me or thanked me or said anything, which is kind of weird. And the site carried on going for maybe a couple more months, and then suddenly it was gone. Absolutely nothing. I mean, if a dude had said to me, you know, sorry, but I don't have the time for this anymore, I can't do it, I would have said, okay, fair enough, thanks for the heads up. But nope, he just terminated the website, and that was that. Which reminds me of another website I was involved with. I'm not going to say the website's name, but it was started by a fellow YouTuber. I met him because we both got featured on a website. And, you know, fair enough. He was doing what I was doing, making reviews. You know, he obviously had, you know, aspirations, and good on him, I guess. And he created his own website. Now, a lot of YouTubers had this idea to create a website and get contributors, and the idea is these contributors would promote the website and in turn promote the YouTuber, which, I don't know, it seemed kind of a strange way to get followers for other people, for association, but a lot of people were doing it. And he sort of asked me, and I was like, yeah, why not? But very quickly, he made a lot of demands. He wanted me to give him a video shout-out. He wanted me to put like a title card in front of all my videos. He wanted me to add him to his other channels to check out, and he made a lot of demands. And I said, okay then, what's your traffic? What's the numbers you're getting? He never told me. But I said to him, look, if a site gets anywhere and, you know, brings in good traffic, then I'll consider it. But if you can't wait for me to make good on your demands, then, you know, it's best we don't do this. But he said, no, you can submit to my website and we'll see how it goes. So I thought, all right, we'll see how it goes. And it was rather strange, because one minute he was really a good, you know, contributor. I mean, good collaborator. You know, we would talk about videos, and he was like, you know, we have really good conversations. And the next minute he'd just be throwing verbal abuse at me, and I'd say, hey, there's no need for that. What's the issue here? He wouldn't respond, or if he did, he didn't understand what I was telling him. And I said, dude, you called me a effing so and so. It was like it didn't compute for him. And there's only so many times that someone can treat you like that before you say, I'm done. And I didn't give a message and say I'm done. I just stopped submitting content to the website, and that was the end of our relationship, I guess. And within probably 2 months, I would say the rest of the contributors on that website, there was probably maybe about 5 or 6 in total. The rest of them stopped submitting content. I imagine they probably had similar experiences to me. But what was strange about the guy was it was obvious he wanted to be a big YouTuber. Now, I think when I first heard of him, I had maybe 1,500 to 2,000 subscribers. He had about, I think it was 300 to 700. And he was always talking about, ways to get traffic. Post here, do that, do that, do that. Now, I didn't do much. I didn't really care if I got no views. I posted, I think I posted my videos on Twitter, Facebook, 3 or 4 forums, and a couple of these websites where you submit links. That was about it. I spent no more than 5 minutes sharing my videos. That was it. Whereas he went through all that and a load more. And he was talking about how, ways to sort of get ahead. And I wasn't particularly that interested. But what I thought was strange was when I ended my relationship with him, about 3 months later, he suddenly had 35,000 subscribers. And I just thought, that is really strange, because I've seen channels that go from nothing to big, and it's a natural process. Unless you get lucky or something unusual happens, if you get your first 100, then you're going to get 200. If you get 200, you get 400, and that's the way it builds up. But with his, he just literally went from that to way up there very quick, which made me think, did he do anything to inflate his numbers? I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it just looks suspicious. That's all. And there's another website I was associated with. This is the last of the website sections of this video. I'm not going to say the name of the website, but it was a website that was formed from another website because of the way some contributors left. And I liked version 1 of the website. I went there as a viewer. There was a lot of great content. There was a little community. I would post my videos in the forum. I really liked it. And but the thing is, the creator of the website, he didn't like the website. He felt it lacked functionality. It wasn't to his liking. So he was building version 2 of the website and invited me to be a contributor. But version 2 just did not run. It ran horribly. You'd create a post on there, and half the information would be missing. And then I would get criticised for not submitting the video correctly, and I'm like, dude, this website is broken, it don't work. And it got worse as time went on, and eventually I think all the contributors just stopped posting because it just wasn't worth it. And it was such a shame, because this website had the potential to be a huge website. So that's some of my negative experiences with working with websites. That's why I don't tend to be involved with websites. But I did actually, at one point, have my own website. It was crudely made, but it was a way for me to, because I had my videos on Blip TV when that was still around. Now, I never got into videos to make money. I figured if I made a little bit of money, I can put it into the videos. I can maybe buy better equipment. That's how I saw it as. I did not see it as making money or getting ahead or anything like that. And the website I made was pretty crude, but it got some huge numbers. I can't remember what they were, but I think, it was getting something like 20,000 hits a month. But because the website was so crudely made, I couldn't channel those views into actual video views. I think a lot of people would look at the website and just turn away. I think I worked out that if 10% of all the people that I think I worked out at one point, if like just a fraction of the people who viewed the site actually went there and watched the video, I'd actually earn a pretty nice little side income. Which might be the reason why I got a lot of attention from the website. I got loads of companies actually wanted to advertise on the website, and I didn't, because I didn't think it was going to work out. I think they were going to, tell me to put this advert, give me some money, and then they were going to be angry that they didn't get any traffic. So that's why I never ever accepted any of these requests. Which might be the reason why a dude, I'm not going to name, he offered to build me a website. He was really nice, we would chat, and I was very nice to him for 2 years. Yes, he strung me along for 2 years. And originally he gave me a pitch saying, hey, I make websites in my free time. I can now offer you this website for free. And the idea is if your website gets traffic, maybe that traffic can help me get business. So I was like, yeah, sure. And then after like 2 years of back and forth, he gives me the same sales pitch again after 2 years. Say, hey, I'm in a position to make websites again, and blah, 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 blah. And I said, dude, you've already given me the sales pitch. I said, you strung me along for 2 years. Come on, man. And he was like, dude, don't talk to me like that. He said, I've been nice and polite to you. And I said, yeah, okay, you've been polite to me, and that's all well and good, but here are the facts. You said you're going to build my website, and you haven't for 2 years straight. What can you say about that? There was absolutely nothing he could say about that. And in the end, he said, yep, you are right. And he did have one last attempt to build me a website. And I didn't have much requests. I didn't want anything. I just wanted a few basic functionalities, just some of the stuff you'd get from a Google Blogger website. And he couldn't do it. And in the end, he said, yeah, you're probably better off making your own website on Google Blogger, which... yeah, cheers for wasting my time, dude. I mean, I'm sure you're a nice dude and polite, but, you can't be polite with someone while messing them around and expect a person not to get annoyed with them. Right, that concludes all the websites that I had negative experiences with. Here's another negative experience. Video review contests. Now, I only ever submitted to one, and it was a dude, and he was like me, making video reviews, and he thought, cool, I'll do a video review contest. So I thought, alright, I'll submit. I figured it'd be a bit of fun, didn't expect to win or anything like that. And it wasn't a contest, it was just him and his friends just going on a kill crazy rampage on these people, just saying some of the most horrible stuff. And the whole point is you're supposed to judge these videos. And I'm sure every one of these videos you could find good or bad points. I mean, my video, the video I submitted, it needed more work. The script wasn't particularly that good, but it did have high production values, though. I mean, it was probably one of the best shot and best edited videos. I personally think it was. I mean, you had some people that would just literally do a video like this in front of a webcam, and I'm thinking, fine, everyone's got their own style, but you kind of have to, take to the fact that if someone spent more time than someone else, you should, I don't know, give them credit for it. They didn't. I mean, most of the videos just got absolutely, I just got so much verbal abuse. And, the thing that I thought was strange about the site, about the contest was, I submitted a video, but it wasn't until 6 months later that he actually got around to doing the videos with the results, which I thought was kind of unfair because I'd made probably a dozen videos in that time. Each one got better and better. So to judge me on something that I made months ago seemed a bit unfair. I found out the dude who runs it who ran the contest is not particularly that nice. Again, I'm not naming his name or his channel. And apparently he's friends with a larger YouTuber who does stuff like that. He's quite notorious for being a not particularly nice person. That's all I'm going to say. So if you see a video contest, just be cautious. Or if you do submit to it, just be prepared. The fact that all the people and the judges could be complete arses. Alright, let's move on to the next thing. Private messages. Now, I got a comment from someone saying, you didn't respond to my comment, or didn't respond to my private message. I'm going to go into details why I don't respond to private messages or a lot of comments anymore, because I've got nothing but verbal abuse for years, and I got to the point where it wasn't worth it. I mean, I'm sure that a small percentage of the people who reach out to me are nice people who are not going to give me any verbal abuse or be dicks or anything, but it's not worth it. It isn't. I mean, I'm sure the person who reached out to me was very nice, but I could have responded, and if I didn't, because some people get obsessed about YouTubers, they get really obsessed. They think because they enjoy their videos, they're like them, they're like-minded. And when you do something that they don't expect, they lash out verbally. They do. I've had that so many times, people just angrily swearing at me saying, I did not think you would do that or say that. It's really bad because if you get someone who's like binge watch all your reviews, they give you nothing but like criticism because you're not doing what they expect of you. And I got to the point where I was just done. But the thing that made me decide not to respond to private messages or friend requests or anything like that was I get regularly people starting out, kids or people in their late teens, who want advice. Now, they want advice, they want to be friends, and I try to be accommodating. And when someone gives me advice about, like, hey, what equipment should I buy or what should I do, I always say, use what you got. If you've got a web camera, use that. If you don't have a web camera, chances are you've got a mobile. And chances are most mobiles can shoot standard depth footage or maybe footage in 720p. There you go, you've got a camera to start off with. Mics, there are loads of things you could do. Like if you've got an old mobile phone, heck, use it as a portable audio recorder. Hold it to your face. Or get an adapter and use that as a recorder for a lav mic. You can make videos for practically nothing. All you need is a computer that's not ancient. That's got a little bit of power, and a web camera or a phone or something. And I gave this advice to a person who was starting out, and he lashed out at me. He went, "No, I don't. How can I possibly do unboxings in 480p on my phone?" I said, "Dude, most phones can shoot 720p, and even if you're starting out on 480p, what's wrong with that?" And then after lashing out at me, I think he came to his senses and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, just ignore what I said." I said, "No, I can't ignore. You just insulted me." And it happened several times. So I just cut all ties. I gave him a detailed message why I didn't, want to give him advice or be a friend with him anymore. That was that. Didn't get much response. And this situation happened several times. There were fans that would get so obsessive they want to be on my friends list. And then whenever I write something that's not game related, they don't agree with, they just lash out verbally. Or they just criticize the littlest, teeniest thing on my video. And most of the time, I just let it go. I say each to their own, They're the audience, and you kind of have to put up with that. But there's a line that it gets crossed, and you have to say something. I mean, I had this one chap, he would criticize some of the most teeniest things. Like, I made a line in one of my reviews saying, use the PlayStation controller, or use the PlayStation... the line was, use the PlayStation 1 controller. Now, I meant it as in, not that one, but that controller. But he thought I meant PS1 controller, and I had a picture of a PS3 controller, and I just thought that was kind of petty to criticize that. I told him that, but, he didn't remember, and then when he did remember, I don't know. There's just so many times you can go through situations like that before you just think it's just not worth it. So anyone out there who wants to write a private message, I'm sorry, but I just don't read them. I just don't want the hassle anymore. And there's just so many other situations like that's happened. Now I'm going to go on to the final example of a negative YouTube experience, and this was a huge negative experience for me. Now I consider myself to be a pacifist, a very understanding person. I'm not going to say, you can't do this. If you want to do something and you're well-intended, I'm going to say, go ahead. And if I think we can do something together, great. I'm not going to say, you can't do it. I'm not going to do that. There was a dude who regularly tried to reach out to me to collaborate, but my instincts are usually pretty good. And whenever I ignore them, I tend to regret it. So I ignored it every time he reached out to me. Eventually, he reached out to me and said, hey, I've actually started a business and I got 2 video contracts. Would you like to help me with both of them? He said, money's on the table. He said, I'll share the fee with you. And at the time, I was working part-time and I was looking for a second job. And I thought, what have I got to lose? I'll help him with one of these videos. If I don't get any money, then I haven't really lost anything and it's kept me busy. So one of these videos, now this dude who's talking to me, I'm not going to name his YouTube channel or his name, and he actually lived in the same town as me, and we did actually collaborate mainly just on Skype. Now he said he was given a contract from a society in this town. I'm not going to name them, but they deal with the history of this town. Now I thought, isn't that a non-profit organisation? And he said they are, but they do have money. And one of the contributors was supposed to be doing all their videos for him, and apparently he takes too long, he's a perfectionist, and they decided to basically contract out some of the videos he was doing just to speed things up. And this dude who reached out to me basically had a contract, and it wasn't particularly difficult. I think it was a 6-minute video. It was about 30 to 60 images, and we would, it was a contract. It said, right, use these images in this order, make the video around about this length, try to do something interesting that's slightly more interesting than just bunging them into Windows Movie Maker and creating an automated slideshow. Now the thing is, this dude I was talking to, he didn't know what to do. He had the project, he had the basically the contract for about 3 weeks, did nothing with it. He didn't know what to do. Now he wants to be a video editor, but he told me he hadn't done anything substantial since 2008, and we were talking in, I think it was either late 2013 or early 2014. Now, if I hadn't edited a high quality video in 5 years, I would struggle. But to jump from not editing anything major in 5 years to running a business and then getting video contracts, that seemed a bit crazy to me, but I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And he said, do you want to take a pass at it? I said, all right. So he emailed me the project file, and it took me probably an hour and a half to edit the video. It was complete. It didn't have any music, didn't have any credits. I followed the brief of the contract to the letter. I mean, if they wanted changes made, if they wanted it expanded, music added, that's not a problem. But as far as I'm concerned, I had fulfilled the contract in its form at that point. And he was over the moon. He said, I can't believe you did that quickly. I said, not particularly difficult. I said, if you know how to pan and scan, that's half the battle. And editing choices are already made for me. I mean, let's say you got 30 images and you got a video that is 6 minutes in length. Just do the maths. You can work out how long each image has to be there in order to maintain a chain of images that fulfill the entire length of the video. And then what I did to try to make things a bit more interesting was I gave each image a minimum amount of time, and I had some time left over, and I could expand. If there's an interesting image, I can hold that image a little bit longer. If I've got a series of images that aren't particular interest, I can spend less time on them. And I found all clever ways to mask the fact that some of the images weren't particularly that good. Some of them were of a low resolution, so I treat them as little snapshots. And I think the video, I think it fulfilled its purpose. I never really got much in the way of feedback from the client. And the dude was over the moon. He said he's going to use the I think it was the structure and the tempo of my video to create another version, which he never ever showed me. Now, every build I made of the video, I think I made about 3 builds, and I would basically package them up, email to him, and he could do the same for me so I could see what he was doing. He never did. He said he was going to submit them both to the people who the client was. I didn't hear anything from them. And then suddenly the penny dropped, and I was just like, you know what? I'm wasting my time. This dude is full of crap. This contract probably doesn't even exist. I just got this, when you get a feeling about something and you can't shake it, and it's basically telling you, walk away. This is not right. I did it with him. And there were so many warning signs, and I ignored because I didn't want to be the kind of guy to say, you have too many issues, you can't do this, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm not the kind of guy. I don't like to present barriers to people. If you want to do something, do it. Don't let anyone, including yourself, stop you. And he told me some things about him, like he suffers from, I think it was arthritis. His hands, he couldn't type. So every message he sent to me was a video. It was basically a YouTube a private YouTube video, which is kind of weird. It's like having a one-way conversation. And he could never type messages. And also, he had a terrible memory. He had an accident, and he had a terrible memory, which was so difficult because it's like if you point out 5 things, he'll forget 3 of them. He'll remember 1 of them, and the other one he'll completely remember it the wrong way. And it was so difficult having a conversation with him. He'd get some. He'd unintentionally he'd be really insulting, and I'm thinking, if you had a reasonable memory, you'd remember these facts and you wouldn't say that. But I couldn't say it to him because he told me the issues, and I made allowances for that. But there was just too many things, and the fact that some of the most basic principles of video editing he couldn't do. And one of the things I did after not hearing much from him was I actually contacted his client. I explained the situation. I just wanted some information. I explained the fact that he'd brought me aboard and that he was sharing the fee with me, and I just wanted to know. I said I don't care about getting any money. I said, if this video is used, I just want credit for it. That's it. If my video in its form was used to serve your purpose, I just want credit. That's it. And they replied back to me and they told me, well, we're a charity organisation. We don't pay people, which I thought was strange. So this dude got me to help under false pretenses. And he said, if you have any issues, you're going to have to take it up with the dude who submitted the video. He said, we can't chase up every person who submits content to us, which I thought was kind of a bit bad, because you're a charity organisation, you're having videos submitted, and you basically, when you upload it, you don't care. If someone comes to you and says, hey, I edited that video, you're basically saying, hey, it's got nothing to do with me. Talk to the guy who submitted it. You can't do that. If you are a charity organisation and you are getting people to help you make videos, you need to know exactly who made it, who it's being credited to, and if there's any music, sound effects, anything, you need to know. Are those people submitting are those elements being used basically for free, or what do you call it? Are the elements in the video used in public domain, and if so, do they require just a basic credit? Things like that. And after that, I thought I was justified, because I would run it through my head. I think, was I unfair with the guy? And then after that, I thought, no, I was right to not work with him anymore. And before I stopped working with him, I gave him a very, very, very long email in which I went into great detail. I would quote him. Now, if he didn't agree with me, that's fine. But if he's an intelligent, reasonable person, he should be able to think to himself, well, I don't agree with all these things he's wrote, but he's took the time, he's gone into great detail, he's stated his case. I should respect that he came to this conclusion and decided not to work with me anymore. If he's an intelligent person, he should come to that conclusion and act in a professional manner, because he's run a business and he wants to be treated a certain way. Instead, he responds back to me with this most horrible message in the world, calling me narrow-minded and blah, 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 blah. I didn't even read most of it. And after that, I blocked him. I blocked him from Twitter, from Facebook, YouTube, from every single means whatsoever. And after that, I became very cautious. I stopped responding to private messages. I stopped responding to a lot of comments. If someone writes me a nice comment and I feel that I can respond and it's not going to lead to any unpleasantness, I will do that. But nowadays, there is a disconnect between me and you, and it has to be there, because I don't want to get screwed over or messed around or verbal abuse or anything nasty. I want a happy YouTube experience. I want to be able to do this, speak my mind, put a video out there, and if people enjoy it, great. If they don't, so be it. It's that simple. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you take anything from this video and you're a content creator, just be cautious out there, because not everyone's that nice. And even if everyone out there is nice, everyone has a different idea of what nice is, and sometimes people clash. And sometimes people just can't meet you in the middle and say, well, I don't agree with you, but each to their own. Some people just don't do that. Some people have an idea of what is right and wrong, and if you don't follow that, basically you're a dick, which makes it very difficult to deal with some people sometimes. So again, if you're a content creator and you take one thing from this video, just be cautious out there. Right then, this is a very long video. Thank you very much for watching the whole thing, and see you soon.